Yo, what is up, you guys? Fleur here, and today we're going to have a Major League Baseball video, just some predictions. I'm not going to go in depth too much to all the teams or anything like that. I'm not going to do like every single award because that'd just take too long. I just want to get this done quickly, and get so you guys can get the gist of what I think is going to happen. And I was thinking about what I did last year for this, and I was like, wait. Because last year I started YouTube like in July, so I didn't have a chance to do this preseason predictions. So enough of that. Let's just get into these predictions. Start off in the American League. In the East, I've got the Baltimore Orioles. I think they'll have a good year. Their pitching, they don't really have any standout pitchers, but together, all five of their pitchers in their rotation together work well, and they kind of mix well. I mean, that doesn't make much sense, but it's kind of hard to explain what I'm trying to say. And their hitting, they got Adam Jones. I think he'll have a great year. And I'll get into him a little bit more later. Now, move on to the Central. Now, you guys know I'm a Tigers fan, so I'm picking them to win the Central. But, who else is going to win the Central? I mean, the division was alright last year, but it got weak this year. And the Tigers, getting Torrey Hunter to fill the 2 spot and Victor Martinez coming back, that's going to help them out a lot, especially in the middle of the lineup. And I think that their starting rotation is their starting rotation. Not much to say about that. They got Verlander and Scherzer and Fister, who had great years last year. Not great, I shouldn't say that, but they did very well for the team. And, Anibal Sanchez, who we got in the trade, has done a good job for us. And then Porcello is shaky, but he can get the job done sometimes. Sometimes he looks real good, but more than often he looks real bad. And, there's their questions in the bullpen. Don't really have a closer right now. Rondon, their closer, he was in Double-A last year. Sorry for that stutter. But, Rondon is a closer. I think they're having him play in Triple-A. He's just not ready. They don't want to force him into things yet. Don't want to rush it. And I remember watching him in the, I think it's called the Futures game. That's over All-Star break. He threw 104 miles an hour, and I was like, wow. So hopefully, maybe he'll get called up during the season, but next year he will most likely be the closer for the Tigers. I kind of talked about the Tigers for a long time just because I have so much to say about them. I could talk about them all day. I mean, it's my team. So, let's just move on. The AL West, I got the Angels, just like everyone else. 95% of the world would have the Angels winning. And, they got Josh Hamilton. One thing about Josh Hamilton is I don't think he's going to have a good year at all. Honestly, he could. I mean, he'll probably prove me wrong, but it's just my thoughts. I don't think that Josh Hamilton will play good this year. Like his home runs, I think he might reach 30. I know that's kind of tough to say. I'll probably get hate for it, but it's just your own opinions. And their pitching, their starting rotation on paper looks really good with like Weaver and Wilson, but honestly, I don't think their rotation doesn't work that well together. They got good pitchers, but sometimes they're a little inconsistent. But, they got a pretty good bullpen, and, So I got the Angels in the AL West. Now, they got the 2 wild card spots. I got, in the first wild card spot, I got the Oakland A's. And the second wild card spot, I got the New York Yankees. The Yankees, I mean, that's something coming from me putting them in the second wild card spot, because I hate the Yankees with a passion. And I think somehow they'll get the job done because, it's the Yankees are the Yankees, and if they hit a ball to right field, they only have to hit it like 10 feet, and it'll be a home run. So that really gives them an advantage. And, so then that one-game playoff would be played in Oakland, and I think Oakland would beat the Yankees, and so that would set up in the American League for the playoffs, it would be the Tigers versus the A's in the ALDS, and the Orioles versus the Angels, because I think the Tigers will get the 1 seed, and then the Angels and the Orioles, and obviously the A's with that wild card. And I think the Tigers would beat the A's in, I think 4 games. I think they will sweep them, but they could go 4 games. And then the Angels versus the Orioles. I don't know. This is a tough series to choose. Everyone thinks the Angels are going to the World Series, and I think they will beat the Orioles in the series in 5 games, actually. It'll be really close. The Orioles can really step it up if they want to, but sometimes they, slip up and don't do as well as they can. So I got the Angels in 5 over the Orioles. And that would set up the ALCS between the Tigers and Angels. And I gotta pick my Tigers. I gotta be confident. I'm not gonna pick. You can call me biased. I don't care. A lot of people call me biased, but I don't care about what you say. But I got the Tigers, and that would put the Tigers in the World Series. And now we're gonna move on to the National League, and then at least start off. It's gonna be the Washington Nationals. The Atlanta Braves might give them a run for their money, but I just think the Nats will get it done with that insane starting rotation. And their batting lineup isn't that great, but they got a lot of potential. Let's say that. So yeah, I got the Nats, and then the NL Central. I got the Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati as well as Washington has a good rotation. Obviously not as good as Washington, but the Reds have a good rotation. I like it, and Brandon Phillips and Joey Votto. If Joey Votto can stay healthy, he should have a really good year. So I think their lineup is a little bit too good for that division. Cardinals, watch out for the Cardinals. They kind of dropped off since Pujols has left, but you never know. They could come out of nowhere. They got pretty good pitching. Now let's move on to the NL West. And I got the Giants. A lot of people like the Dodgers. Honestly, I don't think the Dodgers will do that good at all. I don't even have them in the wild card spots. I got the Giants winning the West, though. So yeah, the Giants. Let me start. Their starting rotation. Okay, I'm starting a lot. It's early in the morning. I've got a runny nose, and I was up late because I was going crazy. Not getting into that because then I'll just run the commentary on. Okay, stop. The San Francisco Giants. Okay, NL West. They will win the NL West. Okay. So yeah, the rotation's good. Their lineup is their lineup. They got Buster Posey, who just got that big deal. And I don't got much else to say because I don't really like the Giants since they swept my Tigers last year. But yeah, I got the Giants in the West. Now we moved on to the NL Wild Card. In the first spot, I got the Arizona Diamondbacks, who I think will come out of nowhere and have a great year. And then in the second spot will be the Phillies. Now the Phillies used to be real good, and a lot of people think that they're done. They're going to start rebuilding, but I think they're all wrong. I think the Phillies will do great. Honestly, I think the Phillies. Well, I just sounded dumb. I said great when I have them in the second wild card spot, but I just think they'll do a lot better than people think they will. Their lineup is kind of shaky at this point. It's not as good as it used to be, but they still got the pitching. They've definitely like Holiday and I can't even think. But yeah, Holiday, just for example, hasn't pitched as good as he can, but I think they'll improve. They'll be back to normal, just barely making that wild card. And so the NL for the playoffs. So Diamondbacks, Phillies. I think the Phillies, it would be played in Arizona. I think the Diamondbacks would get the job done to make the playoffs. And I think the number 1 overall seed would be the Nationals. So it would be Nationals versus Diamondbacks, and then the Reds versus the Giants. And I think the Nationals would beat the Diamondbacks. I think they will sweep them. Their just starting rotation is too good. So I got the Nationals sweeping the Diamondbacks, and the Reds versus Giants could be a very good series. It could go to 5 games, but I do have the Reds in 4. So that would set up the Nationals versus the Reds, who would be the 1-2 seed for what I have in my predictions. And I've got the Nationals over the Reds, just barely, but yeah, I got Nationals over the Reds in, let's say, 6 games, because the Reds starting pitching does match up kind of good with them, so they could hang in there, but I think the Nats get it done in 6. So let's set up Nationals versus Tigers, and I don't think I said it, but the Tigers and Angels in the ALCS, I think the Tigers will get it done in 6. I don't think I mentioned that earlier, but yeah, Tigers in 6. So Tigers versus Nationals, and I've got the Tigers beating the Nationals in the World Series in Game 7 in the bottom of the 25th inning with Miguel Cabrera hitting a walk-off grand slam. Yeah, that was a joke. But, yeah, I do think the Tigers, I mean, a lot of people saying that it's just the Tigers' rotation isn't that bad, but when it comes to key situations like the postseason, they do bad. And since like the Nationals have such a better rotation than the Tigers do, it makes it look like they're worse than they are. But I think the Tigers get it done, and like Verlander, he can pitch 9 innings pretty much every game he pitches, but probably not in the playoffs because they'll need him to pitch quite more often. You know, they're not gonna let Porcello pitch if there's like a Game 5, Game 7, they're not going to let Porcello pitch, or Sanchez, not even. They would have Verlander, so he would be on short rest. Wouldn't be able to pitch 9 innings all the time like he does in the regular season. But yeah, I think the Tigers get it done in 6 over the Nationals in the World Series. And yeah, go ahead, call me biased. I still won't care. Just my opinions, and I'm being a loyal fan. I love my Tigers. Okay. And now let's move on to a couple awards. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of them because that would make the video way too long. It is kind of long right now. I just thank you guys that have watched and stayed here. This is wrapping up real soon here. A couple more minutes. Start off with the AL MVP. And I do have like my one definite choice, but then I do add a second player just so people don't say, oh, you're just saying that because you're a Tigers fan. I mean, the Tigers got a good team. I'm not gonna lie. It's a fact. So the AL MVP, I've got Miguel Cabrera or Adam Jones. You know, Cabrera, last year he had the whole Triple Crown thing. I don't think he'll repeat Triple Crowns. That'd be too crazy. But, you know, he hit .330 with 139 RBIs and 44 homers. This year, I think he'll hit over 130 RBIs once again. I think he'll raise his average a little bit more and not hit as many home runs. So average 330. I think I'll probably go up above 335, and home runs probably between like 38 and 41, somewhere in there. So yeah, I think he'll get the AL MVP. Then if not him, it will be Adam Jones. And you see, Jones. Of course he's an outfielder for the Orioles. He had a pretty good year last year, hitting .287. That average definitely won't get the job done for MVP, but it's not bad really. But I do think he will hit a lot better. I think he'll hit over 300, maybe 305 to 312 possibly. We'll see. But he doesn't hit for that much power, but 32 home runs is pretty darn good, especially for someone that is kind of more, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but he also had 82 RBIs last season. I think that number will get closer to 100. That could help him in the MVP race. And my thoughts on Mike Trout, I don't think Trout, he will have a lot better year this year. Not a lot better, but same kind of year. Either that or he will hit like 260, just go into a total slump, and that's what I'm hoping he'll do. Because if he gets hot, it's scary. It's scary if he gets hot. So that's my thoughts on Trout. And then move on to the National League MVP. I know it should be up on the screen already, but I know you guys will probably say something about this. Totally disagree with me. I know you probably will, but I have Denard Span getting the NL MVP. That's a little out on a limb there. And last year he hit 283, just 4 homers. He's obviously not a power hitter. Since he's in the leadoff spot, he doesn't get many RBIs. He only had 41, but 17 stolen bases. I think he'll get over 20 this year. And his average, I think, will get I think it'll get like over 315, 320s, so he could possibly get the NL MVP. That's kind of crazy. I sound kind of dumb, but that's just my thoughts. I've watched him a lot because, that was with the Twins. Tigers played them a lot, and Denard's band would be the one to always kill us. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Move on now to my other choice for NL MVP, and I've actually got a pitcher there. Steven Strasburg for NL MVP 2013. Yeah, I think he could get it done what Justin Verlander did back in 2011. It's just Strasburg, he's going to pitch the whole season unless he gets a crazy injury. That would just suck. But yeah, Strasburg I think could do that. It's possible. And I don't really have much else to say. Just some stats from last year. He only pitched 159 innings. Well, 159.1 to be exact. But, he got shut down. His ERA was over 3. It was 3.16. I think this year he gets it under 3. And he had 197 strikeouts. Easily would have got over 200 if he pitched the whole season. So he'll obviously get that. And yeah, so that's my thoughts on him. And for AL Cy Young now, I've got Justin Verlander. Of course, I'm a Tigers fan. Justin Verlander, he's good though. It's not just, no, I'm a Tigers fan, Justin Verlander. All the Tigers are, dude, the Tigers are even going to win the NL awards. Okay, sarcasm there. But, yeah, Cy Young for the American League, I got Justin Verlander. Last year, he had that 2.64 ERA. 17-8 was his record, with 239 strikeouts, which led the league. But 17-8, I mean, he does not get run support for crap. Well, he didn't last year. This year, with the defined two-hitter and Hunter, and with Martinez back, that should help out in getting run support. I think he'll get 20 wins easily this time around. And yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And then Jared Weaver, who has had potential, but has been inconsistent up and down years. But last year he did good with the 2.81 ERA, and he was 20-5 with 142 strikeouts. Definitely not really a strikeout pitcher that much. I mean, I guess he is, but 20-5, that's a good record. He started off so good that at the end of the year they kind of didn't talk about him much. But yeah, I think Weaver could be in the race for the Cy Young. And I'm getting a little tired. It's the morning, and I'm talking kind of fast. And I'm going to try to keep this video under 20 minutes, so let's move on. NL Cy Young, I've got Strasburg, obviously, if I have him in the MVP race. So Strasburg, who I already gave you his stats, and then Johnny Cueto, who I actually thought should have won it in 2012. He pitched with that 2.78 ERA. He was 19-9, just one win away from 20 with 170 strikeouts, which is quite impressive. And, I think he could get the job done this year, which he should have last year, though, but oh well. Yeah, so that's it for all my predictions. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave comments of your thoughts on my predictions and tell me your own predictions. So, thanks for watching once again. And tomorrow, we'll see. Tomorrow, look out for it's either going to be a Madden Online Ranked or MLB 2K13 Online Ranked coming up. And I got some more surprises for you guys coming out soon. But yeah, I don't want to say too much about that. So yeah, this has been my Major League Baseball 2013 preseason predictions. I kind of paused right there, but oh well. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. And as always, hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day. Peace.